It is worth noting that even performing one's duties is considered a sort of worship. The Prophet told us that whatever one spends for his family is a type of charity. He will be rewarded for it if he acquires it through legal means. Kindness to the members of one's family is an act of worship, as when one puts a piece of food in his spouse's mouth, as the Prophet informed us. Not only this, but even the acts we enjoy doing very much, when they are performed according to the instructions of the Prophet, they are considered as acts of worship. The Prophet told his companions that they would be rewarded even for having sexual intercourse with their wives. The companions were astonished and asked, "How are we going to be rewarded for doing something we enjoy very much?" The Prophet asked them, "Suppose you satisfy your desires illegally, don't you think that you will be punished for that?" They replied, "Yes." So he said, "By satisfying it legally with your wives, you are rewarded for it." This means they are acts of worship. Thus Islam does not consider sex a dirty thing that one should avoid. It is dirty and a sin only when it is satisfied outside marital life. It is clear from the previous discussion that the concept of worship in Islam is a comprehensive concept that includes all the positive activities of the individual. This, of course, is an agreement with the all-inclusive nature of Islam as a way of life. It regulates the human life on all levels: the individual, the social, the economic, the political, and the spiritual. That is why Islam provides guidance to the smallest details of one's life on all these levels. Those following these details is following Islamic actions in that specific area. It is a very encouraging element when one realizes that all his activities are considered by God as acts of worship. This should lead the individual to seek Allah's pleasure in his actions and always try to do them in the best possible manner. Whether he is watched by his superiors or he is alone, there is always the permanent supervisor who knows everything, namely Allah.
The first side of the tape is over. Please turn to the second.
Discussing the non-ritual worship in Islam first does not mean under-evaluating the importance of the ritual ones. Actually, ritual worships, if performed in true spirit, elevate man morally and spiritually and enable him to carry on his activities in all walks of life according to the guidance of God. Among ritual worships, Salah, the ritual prayer, occupies the key position for two reasons. Firstly, it is a distinctive mark of a believer. Secondly, it prevents an individual from all sorts of abominations and vices by providing him chances of direct communication with his Creator 5 times a day, wherein he renews his covenant with God and seeks his guidance again and again. You alone we worship, and to you alone we turn for help. Guide us to the straight path. This is the first chapter in the Holy Quran, verses 4 and 5. Actually, Salah is the first practical manifestation of faith, and also the foremost of the basic conditions for the success of the believers. Successful indeed are the believers who are humble in their prayers. This is chapter 23, the first 2 verses. The same fact has been emphasized by the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, in a different way. He says, "Those who offer their salah with great care and punctuality will find it a light, a proof of their faith, and cause of their salvation on the Day of Judgment." After salah, zakah, the charity, is an important pillar in Islam. In the Quran, salah and zakat mostly have been mentioned together. Like salah, zakah is a manifestation of faith that affirms that God is the sole owner of everything in the universe, and what men hold is a trust in their hand over which God made them trustees to discharge it as He has laid down. Believe in Allah and His Messenger and spend over that which He made you trustees. This is in the Holy Quran, chapter 57, verse 7. In this respect, zakah is an act of devotion which, like prayer, brings the believer nearer to his Lord. Apart from this, zakah is a means of redistribution of wealth in a way that reduces differences between classes and groups. It makes a fair contribution to social stability by purging the soul of the rich from selfishness and the soul of the poor from envy and resentment against society. It stops the channels leading to class hatred and makes it possible for the springs of brotherhood and solidarity to gush forth. Such stability is not only based on the personal feelings of the rich, it stands on a firmly established right, which, if the rich denied it, would be exacted by force if necessary. Siyam, fasting during the daytime of the month of Ramadan, is another pillar of Islam. The main function of fasting is to make the Muslim pure from within, as other aspects of Sharia make him pure from without. By such purity, he responds to what is true and good and shuns what is false and evil. That is what we can perceive in the Quranic verse. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you, as it was prescribed for those before you, that you may gain piety. It's from the Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 183. In an authentication, the Prophet reported Allah as saying, "He suspends eating, drinking, and gratification of his sexual passions for my sake. Thus his reward is going to be according to God's great bounty." Fasting, then, awakens the conscience of the individual and gives it scope for exercise in a joint experience for all society at the same time, thus adding further strength to each individual. Moreover, fasting offers a compulsory rest to the overworked human machine for the duration of 1 full month. Similarly, fasting reminds an individual of those who are deprived of life necessities throughout the year or throughout life. It makes him realize the sufferings of others, the less fortunate brothers in Islam, and thus promotes in him a sense of sympathy and kindness towards them. Lastly, we come to Al-Hajj, the pilgrimage to the house of Allah in Mecca. It is very important Lastly, we come to Al-Hajj, the pilgrimage to the house of God in Mecca. This very important pillar of Islam manifests the unique unity, dispelling all kinds of differences. Muslims from all corners of the world, wearing the same dress, respond to the call of Hajj in one voice and language. Labaik, Allahumma labaik. Here I am at your service, O Lord. In Hajj, there is an exercise of strict self-discipline and control, where not only sacred things are revered, but even the life of plants and birds is made inviolable, so that everything lives in safety. And he that venerates the sacred things of God, it shall be better for him with his Lord. This is from the Holy Quran, chapter 22, verse 30. And he that venerates the waymarks of God, it surely is from devotion of the heart. Again, from the Holy Quran, chapter 22, verse 32. The pilgrimage gives an opportunity to all Muslims from all groups, to organizations and governments from all over the Muslim world to meet annually in a great congress. The time and venue of this congress has been set by their one God. Invitation to attend is open to every Muslim. No one has the power to bar anyone. Every Muslim who attends is guaranteed full safety and freedom as long as he himself does not violate its safety. Thus, worship in Islam, whether ritual or non-ritual, trains the individual in such a way that he loves his Creator most and thereby gains an unyielding will and spirit to wipe out all evil and oppression from the human society and make the word of God dominant in the world.